Most of you watching this, you've met me. Most of you on this like live, you've already met me. But some of you are new, and if you're new, hi. My name's Neal. Neal's not who I am. Neal's my name. When people call my name, I answer. It's a way to engage me in conversation. Who I am is a multi-dimensional, infinite spiritual being expressing through a human body. Who I am as a child of God the Father, who I am as a member of the body of Christ, who I am as an intuitive permaculture garden master, who I am as a coach that assists conscious people in their 20s and 30s exit the matrix and be with their soul family. And I accomplish this through the changing of perceptions, through the changing of expectations, through the transmuting of opinions and my truths into the truth. And so, what is natural balance? Well, first of all, it's where you're at. And then, second of all, this is only an aspect of natural balance. Natural balance is a global movement that's expressing through the hearts and the minds of the people. And it's global because of it expressing through the heart. And the heart's not the origin is source, the origin is God, but the heart's the conduit that is expressing God through. And God is oneness and love and infinite connection. And we're an aspect of that. We're a piece of the whole picture. And natural balance is that piece expressed. It's that piece seen and felt by other people, which is to experience. And once another person has the experience of love coming through you, of God coming through you, of infinite connection, of unconditional connection occurring when you're around, then that's natural balance. That's both a giving and a receiving of love. And it's not holding on to the love. It's being an open channel to for expression and for receiving. And this right now in this moment specifically, it's I am like so open. I don't even know where this evening's going. And it's not going anywhere because it already is somewhere. And my brain, Neal's brain, tries to like figure out where it's going and tries to put a plan together on how it might go. Um, and that works. And that's like it's a masculine attribute, and it is useful, and it doesn't always work. Times when it doesn't work to make plans, like to have a format, to have like a list, to have something to go off, to have a channel to go off of. The times when it doesn't work is when we need it to work. And that's when God's like, yeah, like because you need it so much, I'm not going to give it to you, and you can just be sitting in your need for it to happen the way that you have it planned out. And then you're going to keep needing it to be that way, which creates already anxiety of what it's going to look like. And it creates anxiety in the moment because what it's going to look like isn't in the moment. And so, and then when the moment comes where it's like the grand reveal, like here's the moment and here's literally the time when we're going to see the thing that we already planned out. And then that's when God, in that moment, he just shares a completely different picture, which is the picture that you needed. It's the conversation that you needed. It's the experience that you needed, and it's not what you wanted. So when we can have a plan, when we can have an outline, and we don't need it, uh, that's the recipe for it actually coming into reality. Because then God's like, hey, you don't need it, so um, we usually, when we don't need it for ourselves personally, it's because we have a vision of something greater than us. And that thing greater than us, we call it by many different names. And God sums up most of those names. And I am does a great representation as well. And so here I am right now. And I'm gonna check in because I literally don't know. I don't know right now. Hallelujah. Open up for sharing. Is anything coming up?
No, you're it's coming through you what I was unaware of. So I'm here and with us.
Is that complete, or do you want to share more?
I feel complete now. I know there's a question. I am incomplete with being unaware of presence as I am.
Heard you're incomplete with being with the presence of who I am. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Do you have a question, another question related to it, or is that the question?
It is a question and I am becoming present as I the question has been asked.
Yes. So, what is incomplete with being present with who I am in you?
What's coming through you on the tasks and how the brain can figure out and plan and when is it needed and when is it not? I'm I'm in the present moment of that streaming through because that's what's been happening today of things to do and tasks to do, and when I'm noticing that I need it, acknowledging that, I'm becoming fuller in presence with you on what's coming through. So I am appreciating your lead and I'm complete.
Amazing. It's like I'm in level three again. It's like I'm in the void where there's the nothing, there's the everything. Like I feel complete, but I don't like it's it's so complete. I don't know what to share. Um,
It's love. It's so cool. Okay.
so with not knowing what to share, that I can use that as a as a trying to think of the word for the I got a clear picture, a baffle. It can be used as a baffle, like is used for water to I can use that to not express love. I can use being whole and complete to just be so present that I don't express, but that's unbalanced. Um, how so? How is being whole and complete and not expressing love unbalanced? Um, You're whole and complete. Part of that whole and completeness is expression and receiving. And you're not expressing and receiving because you need it. You're expressing and receiving from your whole and completeness. So it's not for anything, and it's not because of needing to give anything. It's literally, I'm whole and complete, and now from this, I can share. And I don't need to share, and I'm okay if I don't share. And so this is so relevant to me personally in conversation, where I'll be in conversation and in communication with another person, or not even in communication with another person, just being literally in a group of people communicating and hearing what they're saying, and then having inspiration rise inside of me, like, oh my gosh, this thing, I can feel the energy of the thing. There's words are not entirely there yet, but I feel this thing that wants to be said, and I need to say it right now. And when I need to say it right now, I usually don't say it, because in the times when I've said the thing I need to say right now, I've lost $100 saying something I needed to say right now. Um, it sounds minor, but if you now take that times 100 or times 1,000, that starts to become exponential. Um, and the needing to say something, you that see, it's not about what we're saying, it's the energy of what we're saying, where what we're saying, the energy that is coming from. Words, I used to think words were everything. They're pretty much like nothing. Now there's there's vibration and sound, which is frequency, which is transmitted through words. And that vibration and sound, that's the energy that's coming through the words. And it doesn't matter what the words are. What matters is the vibration and the frequency. That's literally what creates matter. Densely vibrating particles appear solid. And then loosely vibrating particles that are vibrating very loosely and have a flow that is not solid. That looks more like liquid. It can look like air. So it's all about the energy. Well, definitely gonna say this. Neal's like doing that thing right now. But all right, so all creative energy, or all energy that we're interacting with, is creative energy, and all creative energy is sexual energy. Um, so sexual energy is creative energy, and God energy is creative energy, which is sexual energy. And creative energy is both masculine and feminine, and it both exists inside the body, but it also exists outside of the body. And masculine and feminine energy show up in an infinite number of forms all around us all the time. And we start to see it when we tune to what it looks like. I'm going to go into some examples. So, listening, feminine. When you're listening, it's a feminine quality. You're in receiving mode. When somebody's talking, it's a masculine quality. You're in a giving mode, in a projection of voice, a projection of sound and frequency. Walking is masculine. Sitting is feminine. For example, so a a tree A tree is masculine. The sap inside of the tree is feminine. So those are three examples in our bodies, in nature. The sun is masculine. The moon is feminine. The moon's like a receiver. The sun's a giver. It's an outwards expression. Why is all this relevant? Well, it's relevant because it's the only energy we're ever interacting with, and it's God's energy. And God is the center point, is the perfectly balanced masculine and feminine energy. And that balance can occur. It does occur physically, and then it also occurs spiritually. And we don't need to be in marriage to receive balanced masculine and feminine energies inside of our body in the physical dimension. And so now all that's being said to just point towards this creative potential that's inside of us, that we here, every single being here on earth is learning how to navigate creation, is learning how to navigate this creative energy. Am I just gonna waste it on junk food, waste it on like focusing on the news, like literally taking creative energy, taking focus, and pointing it towards a TV, a television, which tells lies to your vision. It literally programs your subconscious to produce the reality that literally the cabal or the elites or whatever you want to call them, which is this minority group of people, it is the programming that you're creating for them. And so now, being present, there's something with being present where it's only in the present that we can direct our focus and thus direct that creative energy. That creative energy is always available and we're always interacting with it. But sometimes we create the illusion that it's not there and we distract ourselves so much because we don't want to like raise our sexual energy to experience heightened emotional states. And this high-end emotional state is an experience of inspiration and creation inside of the body that is God's energy coming through us. And then that may show up as expression. It doesn't need to. See, that's where we literally have a choice. Like we can choose, hey, do I choose, all right, I have this creative energy inside of me. Am I going to now hold it in and be distracted and waste it on a bunch of junk and on a bunch of distractions and on irrelevant situations or conversations? Or now I have this creative energy inside of me. Am I going to use it to be elevated, to rise up, to experience something that is like more than the feeling is like tenfold the shitty experience I was having before. And then from this feeling of this tenfold experience of joy, this tenfold experience of peace, going from not even knowing what peace was to like having like a tenfold experience of peace, where it's this receiving of like God literally through Jesus and feeling peace like literally descend from the top of your head, like feeling it on your hair, feeling it on your crown, feeling your the top of your brows soften, feeling your eyebrows relax, feeling your eyes soften, your ears relax, tension in your neck starts letting go, shoulders relax, the inner armpit relaxes, biceps relax, triceps relax. The upper back is now just like completely relaxed. And as we allow ourselves to receive this, there's peace that's descending, and then there's love and joy that's ascending as inspiration as the peace is descending. And now this peace is in the chest area, Continues through the stomach into the hips, relaxing the hips, now relaxing the quads and the glutes, relaxing the hip flexors, which are on the sides of the body. And often we hold tension there, and now feeling those relax. Now feeling the knees relax. Now feeling the calves relax, the shins relax, the ankles relax. Feeling the heel of the foot like totally relaxed. And now feeling the arch of the foot relax. And feeling the toes unfurl and relax and come to this state of peace. And now, from this state of complete peace, taking a deep breath in, holding it, and knowing that once this breath is fully exhaled, the extent of peace felt inside of the body is tripled. So now, fully exhaling the breath. Normal breathing, feeling peace in the body. Joy and love like rising up as inspiration that is now coming from the energy of peace. See, it's there's no point because the point is pointless, and then so we decide on a point, we choose the point of our lives. God's already chosen the point of our lives, but we can create an illusionary point to our lives and go ahead and live it. And we can also let go of all illusionary points and all illusionary programs, and then receive God's point for our life, and then express God's point for our life through every cell and fiber of our being. I'm gonna leave that for right now. Is there anything coming up, Andrew?
I'm uncertain of a word to express what's coming up, and I'm very present with energy alignment, and that's new digitally to experience on the level that I am. Also, I'm noting the stream of word separate from energy that came through strongly earlier this week, and how I am becoming attuned to those energies without word, and grateful in the awareness of Jesus being the word, and a differentiation occurring in those aspects. And I'm becoming fuller in openness and channeling this awareness. Appreciating the authenticity about Neal and sexual energy coming through, as it was in queue for discussion prior to the call. My heart physically is going through something that I'm not aware of completely. And so this relaxation was very aligned. So as I'm noticing that, I'm becoming a little less present and out of my body, and like also present, kind of like want. It's interesting how this is coming through, as I intentionally had considered Kundalini practicing, and something that's being experienced through these this recipe that was just given in relaxation is similar to that. And so I'm noticing that there's nuances to other practices that I can continue to be open and developing, and let go of thinking that I always have to practice a full embodied routine to be present with these things. Thank you very much. Are you muted?
I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. It's a getting ready to get ready. Is like it's that thing of I'm gonna do so many minutes of exercise, and then once I've done this, then we can have a conversation because then my energy's in the right place. There is a balance to this, but there's a control to this also. The control is that I need to have my energy right all the time for every person and every interaction for every conversation. Good luck. The surrender aspect is I'm letting go of control in every situation, every conversation, every interaction, because I trust that God has my energy where He decides for it to be at in that interaction, in that situation, and in that conversation. So there's one of those. It's so like I see this world of duality. So there's one and then there's two. And in the two, which is the dual world that we're in the third dimension, in this dual world, there's there's always comparison, this to that, that to this. But there's this middle ground, which is neutrality. And this is the ground beyond judgment, and neutrality is the ground and the foundation of discernment. When we stand on the ground of neutrality with both feet grounded on the shoes of love, like we're standing on love, on the foundation of discernment or of neutrality, standing on the foundation of neutrality in the shoes of love, it is from there that like clear vision, clear focus, and presence is available. And it's specifically because of the foundation we're standing on.
I have a
Like,
question.
yes, go for it.
I can pause it. Do you want to continue that thought?
Go for it.
Um, when things are so aligned, how is the skepticism and almost like paranoia line in contrast? How does that dissipate? For instance, when there's multiple things aligned, there's still a part of me, Andrea, that considers people conspiring or somehow communicating it to other people as if it's something that I can't trust because it's so like how, yeah. I mean, the question's there, and I'm going down the rabbit hole. So, or is this a clear question yet?
Or a question yet? Can you elaborate more?
Well, what's coming through you? Okay, I just was in an AA collective meeting with 166 people, so there was a huge collective consciousness presence there, and things aligned with the wind and stuff. So I became present to presence. And then words that are coming through you and love and the present moment also align with things that I discussed energetically Sunday morning with Noel's class. And there's a part of me that still gets skeptical instead of receiving that these things are like being channeled through God, or like, can I trust people? Trust stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a question, like, how do you discern whether a person is actually channeling source, actually channeling God, or if it's the person talking?
Yeah, they're using information to be manipulative or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, can you feel it?
Oh, that's a good yeah, usually I can feel it. And that's why I think there's a part of me, Andrea, that still is healing with it. See, I have emotion coming up with it because I am able to be present with things coming through in a very grand way, and I know I'm sensing and becoming more aware than not that I'm not the only one yet. And it's so intense sometimes that the shadow aspect of how it was before will like jump in and be like, you can't trust this person right now. And I don't really feel that with you. I believe that the safer I feel, the more that these parts come up intensely and few and far between. And I think I feel sad about it because at the same time I'm immensely aware of how grand things are and how connected we are. The stronger that I remember of how dark it was and how I couldn't trust certain people, and I also, in the same awareness, realize that I'm responsible for that. It it feels heavy sometimes. It's getting better, and I feel for releasing that. And I do believe the question is being answered. Is that as I felt that and healing it, I am clear and realizing that I feel safe in this coming through, and it does feel divinely attuned.
You complete, or do you want to share more?
I'm complete, thank you.
You're welcome. I'll share how I navigate your question. Um, this is like priority for my soul. My soul being with God. Healing. So when somebody's communicating, the first thing I go to is uh, because I'm in it. Um, I can feel the energy Neal's in, but when other people are in whatever energy they're in, I can feel their energy inside of my body. And I get it. Like, there's a whole thing about this. Yeah, but if you're feeling it in your body, it's your energy. I get that. But there's also discernment that I've developed, which that discernment is now to the point where I generally discern, yes, it's all the energy of who I am. And there's energy that is specifically related to Neal's past and present journey, and there's energy specifically related to this other person's past and present journey, and I can feel both of those energies inside of my body. And at this point, I can discern to a degree which of those energies is Neal's and which of those energies is from another person. And so when I feel that energy from another person, the first thing I'm feeling is this a loving energy? Is this an inviting energy? Is this an energy of cooperation? Is this an energy of love? Is this an energy of inspiration? Is this an energy of lightness? Is there fun in this energy being expressed? And so I dial in the feeling that I'm feeling in my body. And that is subject to change. I might like be triggered and think it's the other person's energy, but then I go within and notice, wow, this triggers my energy. But now as the conversation goes on, I'm now feeling joy from, like, literally joy energy coming from this person. I'm noticing the trigger energy inside of myself, but I'm also in love inside myself. But now I'm feeling joy from this same person that I was feeling the trigger from, but I've discerned that I was feeling the trigger and it wasn't that person's energy. So feeling the energy, that's like so relevant to how I interact the physical dimension. I feel energy. And so that's one component. And then another component is to literally so I'm gonna be like really specific with this example would be in an example of having a conversation with another person. So I can literally ask that other person, hey, what is your intention with this conversation? And you don't know how many times when I ask that question with a person that they either won't answer me or the conversation just stops right there. I asked my sister this question recently when I was on a phone call with her, and it was the first time I spoke with her in like 2 years, and I gave my reason for being in the conversation, and she was in the conversation. This is what I discerned after. Actually, I'm not even going to go into that. But basically, when I asked the question of why are you in the conversation, I got hung up on. So this question of why are you expressing what you're expressing? Why is this relevant to me right now? What is your agenda? Ask. Just like we think we can't ask, but that's bullshit. Like if you feel an off energy, like literally ask the person, hey, what's your intention? And then have the question be as specific as possible, and then be prepared for follow-up questions. And you don't need the questions prepared, but just be prepared to ask questions once they answer what their intention is. And then what you'll start to get is an inside look at this person. And it doesn't matter if they don't answer your question or if they do answer your question with words. Energetically, they're going to answer your question. With words, they might not answer it, but if they walk off, they've answered your question. Their intention in the conversation was it had an agenda, and there was something they were intending to get. And because you illuminated that, now they are exiting themselves from the conversation. Sometimes, all right, so I'm still on the recipe. So feeling, asking questions, and then from there, potentially seeing now if there is an agenda, all right, finding out what the agenda is, because not every agenda is a negative agenda also. So maybe there is an agenda, but it's a positive agenda. And so if it is an agenda and the person's transparent about it and is in love and is in joy while sharing their agenda, then I'm open to like receiving your agenda. Like, please share your agenda. I'd like to hear it. To me, that's an idea, and it's a potential of creating a future together. when exchanging agendas and sharing ideas. And so asking questions and then discerning the agenda. And then from there, if it is something that I think that may serve Neal as well as the collective, then I can literally follow the recipe, follow the agenda, and then see what happens in my spiritual space, see what happens in my mental space, see what happens in my physical space. And through doing so, literally discerning what has manifested in my spiritual, mental, and physical body through the agenda put forth by this person. And if at any point during that process I feel judgment inside of my body, then it's best that I don't continue the conversation. It's best that I don't necessarily be in the situation. It's best that I maybe choose a different environment and clean up my judgment before I try to discern whether somebody else is being of detriment or being beneficial or even potentially positively transformational in my physical, spiritual, and mental life experience.
Yes.
So that's how I personally go about discerning if God's talking or if the person's talking, and so that's my recipe.
Thank you. That I actually am present and also present with another time frame that this is very applicable. I want to relay this and be open with it and seeing other aspects of this recipe that can be applicable, and I'm curious on it being present with my body and who I am interacting with others, like a reciprocal of that. If I'm, when I'm not in an observing state, that question could be more clear. I'll be just, level with an experience with a sponsor through the Al-Anon program, and this actually just came through very clearly. So I'm very much appreciating the word and articulation in our conversation right now, as I felt something when we had an open discussion about communication and how the topic isn't as necessary as the experience. I was able to be in observance and not judgment. So now I'm sensing an upgrade as I was practicing this continually with an experience yesterday. And going back to the original experience with the sponsor, she ended the conversation saying she would not be my sponsor anymore because of conversations like this. And I actually felt very free. So I was able to stay present with the energy that shifted and what I felt, and I communicated and recognized when judgment came up, and was able to see her context and stay present with my own energy and stable. And it was pretty cool because I eventually didn't feel that energy. And I think I am experiencing still in my body something regards it, and old programming, thinking that I need a sponsor, thinking that I need someone also to be a guide, yet it has opened up a very close connection with who I am and Yeshua and the Father. And it's really beautiful. And I'm in order of developing a new chapter with this. There was several closing things, and I think there's a part of Andrea that thinks that I'm supposed to be doing something because I'm breaking free of that program and it served a purpose, and I'm just kind of his energy. I mean, then when I went to yoga the next day, I mean, God, it feels like I'm almost saying God forbid me because it's like so strong. And I'm speaking to you, Neal, and who I am, but like this is so beautiful. I didn't even want to call in and see you spoke to that. And I didn't want to do it, and that I am here. But I shared with Noelle that something happened, and I told her with the gathering. There's something. No, I was one on one with her, and she mentioned saying the words in the name of Jesus, get out, because I had a dream about uh this person, Molly, and the energy that she was coming forth with. I had it the week before, and the words weren't coming to me. The name Jesus didn't come to me, and so it became clear to me when the energy started coming through, and it just spirit took over my body, like after the practice in yoga, and I just would it's Reiki. I don't know what it is. I don't have a formulated source of what it is, and so I'm so grateful that this is coming through you, because it became clear to me that it wasn't about the words. I had no doubt. I was in complete faith and I was in complete love, and then I move, and I don't know what's happening consciously, but it's just something that I've experienced, and I have no doubt in my mind that I'm meant to keep tuning into, and I know I'm not the only one. I feel that it's very much so in harmony with being balanced and an embodiment of who I am and the innocence that Jesus has shown us. So I'm becoming fuller in presence with that, and I'm very glad that it's opening up when you hear me, because I've truly been committed in my heart to continue showing up and being balanced, and I'm appreciating the experience and the openness of who I am coming through you. It feels tough. It just feels really tough. I mean, it feels like I'm a warrior without a guardian present, and then I remember, and then I don't sometimes, and then I remember, and it's huge. I know I was sharing that song. It's like, uh, it's like calling from the depths of, I don't even know, like heaven and hell, like something. I'm just gonna pause. God, just take it from me. I just feel like I can't do it sometimes. It's so intense, like it's so much. There's so much energy all the time. And I feel sad that people aren't attuned to it. And I want to share my heart so big. And then I get scared because the tribe's not fully formed here.
Or is there more?
I'm sure there isn't. I can just I want to be complete with that and be present. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome, Lewis. For participants, we're gonna have an opportunity we're gonna have a minute and a half for offers tonight. So if you have an offer, you can make it a minute and a half. That's gonna be available in 3 minutes. Right now, earlier this week, when was it? I don't know. This is pretty early in the week. So at the end of last week, at probably Saturday, it was either Saturday or Friday. We'll go with Saturday. So Saturday, there I was in bed. I just woke up, like literally opened my eyes, and I'm laying in bed. Oh, it was Sunday. It definitely was Sunday. So I'm waking up in bed, um, and like I don't know what the fuck, but I haven't really felt like this in a while, and I'm laying in bed and I just start crying. And I just woke up. Like I literally woke up and I'm laying there and I'm just like, just like bawling. Like, what? Why am I crying? And it was this feeling of being scared. Like I was just feeling so scared and crying because I didn't have all I wanted was sympathy, and I had nobody to give me sympathy. And then I didn't want to fix it. I didn't want to change it. I didn't give a shit about. I didn't want to fucking break through. I wanted to be held, and there wasn't anybody to hold me. And I was scared, and I was crying, and then I cried more because I wanted sympathy and didn't have it. And and it was this fucking release that happened where I noticed that my codependent attachment that I have experienced in the past, uh, I'm getting emotional talking about it, but uh, the codependent attachment that I've experienced in the past has been directly stemming from wanting sympathy and not wanting to change my patterns. And then so I've decided, oh, and then I've wanted sympathy because I thought I wasn't safe. And so what I did on that day, on Sunday, I came out here where I'm sitting right now, and I've got this view of these Indian creep myrtle trees that have these pink flowers on them, and there's a sky behind them. And I came out here and I sat here and I said, God, I thank you for this scared energy that I've been feeling, and I've been using, and it's got me to this point. And I brought Jesus in, and I asked Jesus, hey Jesus, this scared energy in my body, I love it, and I'm thankful for it, and I no longer need it. And in the name of Jesus, I ask this scared energy to be released from my body. And when I did that, I felt this peace inside of me, and I felt this safety that I was embodied in. And that from that moment until this moment right now, it's been this safety that I'm operating from. And I no longer need that scared energy. Um, I was just scared of how magnificent God's love is, and resisting receiving it. So I have an opportunity. This opportunity, here's the dates. So it starts on December 27th, 2024, and it ends on January 2nd, 2025. And this event is the up level ceremony. And this ceremony is a ceremony that's a 5-day food fast. So for 5 days, there's no food. And this is to the end of the year. And then in the start of the new year, we finish the fast with food that is fresh, organic produce, like papayas, like mangoes, like avocados, like delicious bananas that are creamy and tree ripened. And so that's how we're breaking this fast. And during the fasting period, we're in meditation 6 hours per day. And this meditation is split up into 2 hour windows that have yoga in those windows in between the meditations to get movement, to get blood flow going, to move energy in the body. And this event is a minimum donation of $333 to attend. And the location is on the Grace 2 property in rural Costa Rica, located in the mountains where you're literally breathing the clouds. Part of the day, we're literally in the clouds on that mountain. So you're invited. The link's in the description. You can click the link to make a donation. And then once you've made the donation, you'll reach out to me via email and send me an email that says natural balance. And then as a bonus, you get a 1 hour conversation with Neal. And any questions or comments, we can discuss in that phone call. So with that, Lewis, welcome.
Hey, I'm gonna pass on doing an offer for now and just share with gratitude for this space, and how resonant, if that's all right,
Yeah,
that's okay.
that's perfect.
Cool. Um, I was feeling it wasn't exactly lonely because it wasn't like sadness, but it was just like hunger for connection. And and then I was like, oh, I have friends. My friend Neal is doing a master class, and I was like, let me jump on and catch what I can and be present and just. And then Andrea was sharing, and I was like, all right, well, let me be a space for receiving and just listening. And what I got present to through your share specifically, Neal, was just that there might be something like that to experience for me, some release of fear of God's love, or just like sadness at not being held, because that flavor was kind of there underneath what I was experiencing, even though it's not like really intense. Like I'm not triggered, I'm not hijacked, but I am like my attention has been wandering in the direction of wanting more connection and wanting more like hugs, really, and in-person friendship. So yeah, I got what I was meant to get, and this was perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a minute and a half. Do you want to make an offer?
Oh man. Sure. So if anybody wants,
Just for the record, I did say Andrea, but if you got one, we'll go overtime, and then you both got an opportunity.
sorry, Andrea, go first, and then I could do one too after.
Well,
I,
Andrea,
I'm just present with you all. Thank you. No, thank you though.
you're welcome. All right, Lewis, go ahead.
I have a badass masterclass. I'm no longer delivering it as a visionary leadership program coach, but it is a free gift to people who want to clear whatever's been there in the way for them, to creating the relationship of their dreams. One of my clients, Marcus, he came in, he did the work, he received the recodes and the shifts of his nervous system and reported back last week in a recorded testimonial that he's now with a woman that he was like not expecting. It wasn't a given, and he considers it to be the relationship of his dreams. So this is not a paid offer. I'm actually offering for free recordings of the stuff that he went through that was most impactful for him. I'm still building traction with this, and looking to sell it as a paid course soon, but not immediately. So if anybody's interested, just direct message me. Awaken Relentless Love and Partnerships.
Amazing. So, links in the description if you want to check out Lewis's thing. You can just do it from the audio, but if you want the link, that's in the description. And with that, this is now the completion of the virtual aspect of the Natural Balance Masterclass. And natural balance, it is in this space. It is outside of this space. It resides inside of your heart, and it begins once it actually starts, when the camera is, when you basically no longer are looking at the screen, when you're in your body in the present moment. Natural balance is available. With that, good night.